morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. My name is Alex from UBS Securities, and it's my great honor to welcome this distinguished panel where we'll have an in-depth discussion on the evolving landscape of Thailand's capital markets. So to begin, I think the title of this panel, really Reforming the Market, Capital Markets at an Inflection, is really fitting because it really sets the stage for the overall theme of this conference, which is beyond the challenges. We have the key decision makers of the capital markets here with us to better understand the key objectives to ensure fairness and transparency in the market. So to begin, I think I'd like to first touch on a bit on liquidity. There's been an ongoing battle for relevance among different markets to attract liquidity. If we look at Thailand, it was once the leader in terms of liquidity in Southeast Asia at 46% market share. That number has come down to slightly around 23% as of July 2025. So at the same time, initiatives like the Vayupak Fund have played a notable role in revitalizing interest in the market. So my first question I'll direct to Kun Asadej. Could you share with us any initiatives that you're currently pursuing to improve liquidity as well as to attract a diverse range of domestic and international investors?
Thank you, Kun Alex. I'm not sure if the word battle is the right, it seems very aggressive, but we have friendly competition with our fellow exchanges in the region. And you mentioned liquidity. I think liquidity is important, we know, but the way, at least I'm looking at approaching this is in the medium to long term, how do we attract new capital into the market is the most important thing. Liquidity will follow. If the new capital comes in, and therefore, if you extend how to attract new capital or additional capital into the market, it comes back to the fundamentals of demand and supply. To make capital inflows or be attracting capital inflows, we have to have attractive supply. On that front, we're looking at both the existing supply, so existing companies within our exchange, how do we push them, how do we encourage them to communicate more with investors, to showcase the potential. So part of that plan that we're implementing right now is called the Jump Plus project. It's basically the value up, similar to a value up project in Japan or in Korea, where we're encouraging and helping companies communicate their plans in the near future, and how do we get those messages out to the market. And then in more towards the medium and longer term, we obviously need new economies, new types of products that can attract new capital as well. So we're looking at revising or at least adjusting to see how our current market platforms can attract new economies, support startups, SMEs, in terms of being able to reach capital, raise capital to enlarge their businesses going forward. And obviously on the supply side, I think I'll leave it to Dr. Pornanong to mention more, but one of the initiatives that the SE has kind of take the lead on is the individual savings account program. So again, similar to what we've seen, we're learning from other markets, like in Japan. How do we attract or create additional supply within the country itself? So these initiatives are things that we're discussing closely with our partners, with Chavinda from the AIMC, with the SEC and other players and stakeholders within the Thai capital market to help each other grow the market itself.
Thank you for that. And understand all this would not be possible without input, obviously, from the regulator. So maybe you can share some insights, Dr. Pornanong, on how we can actually enable and attract more liquidity.
Thank you, Alex, and thank to Kun Asadej to invite me to be here. I think to enhance the quality flow of the liquidity into our market, I also believe, as Dr. Paupum said earlier, that we have to cultivate both supply and demand side of the market. When we're talking about the quality supply, it is characterized by strong fundamental and good governance. Let me share some recent measures that we try to maintain the quality supply in our market. First, we uplift the backdoor criteria and also the resume trading criteria in order to align the same standard that apply to IPO. This is to make sure that our listed firm, all of them are at the same level of scrutiny and governance. The second one, a lot of people mentioned about what we launched last year and followed by Jump Plus created by Stock Exchange of Thailand this year. This plan encourages our listed firm to demonstrate and communicate their value creation plan, growth strategy, enhance governance, and also reinforce the ESG practice. I think these companies who join both value up plan and also the Jump Plus created by Stock Exchange, they commit to investors that they are not only resilient just today, but they are well prepared for the future. So last but not least, we try to, we require our listed firm to prepare the MD&A, not only in the annual report, but also in the interim report. This makes our investors receive frequent information regarding performance, strategy, and also risks, not just once a year. So I think all of these are the things that we have been done. But moving forward, we are streamlining our IPO process, especially regarding COI and also the primary listing. This one aims to have greater transparency in information while preserving necessary safeguards that protects investors. We also embedded the ESG practice into the DNA of our listed firm by aligning our disclosure to the international standard, ISSB. This is not just only to attract responsible investors, but I think it's also increase global visibility of our Thai listed firm to international investors. I may touch a little bit on the demand side, which we focus on the quality of demand side by fostering the participation of the investors. We try to turn Thailand saving into long-term investment. A lot of people says about the Value Park Fund and also the ESG last year. This year we have launched the ESG X. These funds are designed to increase the longer term of retail investors by promoting the good practice of our issuers in the market. We still continue to turn the saving into long-term investment by broadening the role of the institutional investors in our capital market. So I will pass on this to our next speakers who may touch about what we have been discussed a lot for the near future about the individual investment account or how we're going to broaden the institutional investor roles into our capital market.
That's great to hear that there's a lot of initiatives. It's very active and it's working in close collaboration, obviously with the SET as well as the investor side. Representative from the AIMC, Kun Chavinda. So perhaps, Kun Chavinda, maybe you can elaborate a little bit more. Value Park Fund updates, what have you been working together with the regulator? We'd love to hear your views on how that works to bring liquidity back to our market.
Thank you for the invitation. Before we touch upon the Value Park Fund, I'd like to summarize what the key factor or the key critical problem that we have faced. And actually, so many factors, but just want to drill down only two. The first one, I believe everyone knows, the product itself is less compelling. If you compare to other market, and our investors have more opportunity to invest offshore. So they're searching for what they call high growth potential, not only for the traditional asset, but also the digital asset as well. I'm not blaming on the stock exchange or anyone. I think we still have a promising product for our investor and really qualified one, but the interest of investor kind of shifting. This is the first one. The second one is very critical for us. We see for these past 3 years, we've been very suffer or struggle with the corporate governance. And I think not only for Thai people, but also the foreign investor have experienced and undermined their confidence in the market. For these two reasons, the government realized that Value Park has been revived and for the two purposes. One is to support or promote the saving and also try to stabilize the capital market. And this one is not a new structure, but it has been launched back 20 years ago and with the same purpose when the market is very fragile. And we see the response of the Value Park since we has been promoted in the market before and after. Before we see the market respond positively. I think during the August last year, until Value Park has been launched and market kind of moving up again until we face another problem, I believe that is pretty much focused on the corporate governance again. So the market seems to be kind of show the weakness for our investor. Until this year, we have faced not only the internal factor, but also external factor, that very crucial one. But I want to touch upon only internal factor, which is the liquidity from LTF that we have been struggle. LTF this year, with the size of $6 billion US, the investor have a chance or can be liquidated the total amount starting from this year onward. So the government saw that problem and tried to structure what we call Thai SGX to support in terms of to stop bleeding of LTF and also promote, like Dr. said about the encourage the new money into the market. The results seem to be okay, but not that as we expected. This two structure that has been implemented by the government, I think for myself is a quick win solution. But in terms of our institutional investor perspective, we believe that we need a long-term solution. And the long-term solution that has been discussed internally, one, we have two solutions to propose. One is what we call mandatory provident fund. This one is good because if we look at other markets, particularly for the developed market, I think the role of institutional investors play very significantly. Even our neighboring country, the portion of institutional investors pretty significant. And but in Thailand is vice versa. It's different in other way around. So if we can introduce this model into the market, we see four impact to the market. One is stabilize the stock market. Second is we will see the less volatility of the market. The third one is quite important because we never have mandatory provident fund offered to our investor. And what we see is we have like 22 million people of Thailand in labor force, but only 3 million that been provided this structure for them, and that is a security for long term for Thai people. That's what we want to see. The most important part is for the mandatory provident fund, we will see sustainable, steady inflow of fund on yearly basis that could be stabilize the market as a whole. This is one of the key solutions that we want to see. The second one, as Dr. Pornanong mentioned, we have discussed about the model that has been applied in Japan in particular, what we call investment individual saving account. I think this quite a simple one, but powerful in our sense, because this one will be a structure that will go through one single platform that consolidate all the capital product into one. And the investor can choose what the product that they want to invest, not only for the mutual fund, but can go to the single stocks and also other things else that will be identified in the future. So if the investor can choose, what we will see in the long-term wise is we will encourage investors to make themselves as a long-term investor. This one is quite interesting because if it can apply for the market, we will see the investor can match their needs between the product and their risk appetite. So this kind of two key solutions that might be able to solve our Thai capital market for the long term. Yes.
Thank you for that insight. I thought it's very interesting, the mandatory provident fund. It may sound simple, but it is something that we take away from investing, just saving for today, but investing for the future. So it's a great initiative. My next question, I would like to direct to Kun Songpol. Basically, we've seen in other markets, like for instance Malaysia, right? Government-linked corporations actually bringing back equity allocation into their own domestic market. Just curious to hear your views on how the government pension fund looks at allocation. Is there potential to actually reallocate a bit more into the domestic equity market? So we'd love to hear your views on that.
Thank you so much. I would love to give you a little bit of background. Currently, we have 1.2 million members, and at the moment, we manage about $45 billion funds. If we look back, government pension fund has been developing the SAA, also called the strategic asset allocation. From the past until now, we invest about 40% for so-called the growth asset and 60% in fixed income. So what happened is we are in the process of modifying our SAA, and we believe that the growth asset would be more allocated from our end. So roughly about from 40% to 50 or 60% in some of the selection that we provide to our member. It's very interesting that we are medium to long term kind of investor, and our member has a choice of 21 asset classes that they can choose from when they invest with us. So definitely the SET, the Stock Exchange in Thailand, is one of the options that our members select from. At the moment, we see there are a number of supports from SEC and SET. A lot of voice has been heard, and a lot of things has been changed based on the regulation and the market practices, which give us better confidence in terms of invest more domestically. And what happened for us since last year, we had added more portion from the government pension fund side. Instead of looking at the SET as the market benchmark, we look at the free float under the SET. And also we select by looking at the stock individually. And we still believe that the investment in those companies still a good investment. If you look back a little bit more, Thailand is one of the market that is not available for just the public market, but also the private market. And we hope and we do planning that we would invest more and hope that we can be part of the incubating partner for putting the company into the market to be listed in the future. So I still believe if you look at Thailand, Thailand is a good platform to test, to try, and a lot of population to springboard to do as well. However, we are still monitoring the development on all factors. For example, we look forward for more medium to long-term type of investor rather than short-term trading type of investor. And we do hope that all the action that SET and SEC that are working together would work out very soon, and we believe that so. Thank you.
Great. It's great to hear such great initiatives on working to bring back that liquidity. But I think first and foremost, beginning with investing in any market trust and confidence is of the utmost, it's most critical. So for example, I mean, to start at the beginning of the year, the big concern had been on margin loans, right? That actually dragged quite a bit on investor sentiment and definitely some of the investors that I speak to as well. So I think it goes without saying there, maybe we can start with the SEC and Dr. Pornanong. Are there any upcoming regulation changes that you want to elaborate on that can help boost investor confidence and create, again, I reiterate, fairness amongst all investor types?
Okay, I'm sure that for this question to start with the SEC, not SET, but later on you're going to hear from Kun Asadej about how we handle with the trading mechanism to get fairer trading mechanism for all types of investors. But let me begin with a bigger picture, because I think that to maintain the effective market, we need not only the good governance, but we also need strong surveillance and also the strong enforcement. At the SEC level, at the SEC Thailand, we are committed to ensure that our supervisory and also enforcement are both efficient and also forward-looking. Over the years, we are strengthening the corporate governance of our listed companies because we believe that good governance is not just about compliance. It is about how we're going to equip board members and also the management with the tools to safeguard against the misconduct or wrongdoing in the company. So that's why we try to enhance the internal control system, ensuring greater transparency and also reinforcing accountability at the core of the system. We believe that by doing everything at the three lines of defense can help management, board members do their job to protect investors. At the same time, we believe that we have to strengthen the oversight of the gatekeepers. For example, we're talking about the financial advisor, we're also talking about the auditors. I may give some example that what we do is that we try to make sure that the audit work are assessed, monitored, and continuously improved. We use tools such as audit quality indicators to review their work. Moving forward, we are pursuing legal amendment to extend our power of enforcement. This reform will increase our ability to take direct action to stronger enforcement, especially gatekeeper, for example, auditors, audit firm. So this is the thing that we are waiting for the final laws. But anyway, you may ask about what we do under our ability or our power right now. I hope that investor can see the speedy of our work, especially during the last 2 years. We try to tighten our supervisory and also investigation process by using digital tools and also collaborating more with other agencies such as SET. So we try to reduce unnecessary delays. I hope that you may see the result out of that. Moving forward, we try to leveling up ourselves about subtech capability. So I believe that by advancing AI technology, data analytics may give us the transformation of our enforcement to be proactive prevention that speedy our detection of or against the wrongdoing in our market. So that are the things that I can share for this round first. And then I will pass to Kun Asadej about things that we work together to give the fairness, to increase fairness to all type of investors in our capital market, especially for retail investors and also the international investor, because we have to align with the international standard anyway. Please.
Kun Asadej, I'd love to hear you.
Might as well go ahead, right? Look, and thank you, Dr. Pornanong. I think we've been working very hard together to try and improve our communication to begin with, so that we can help us, as Dr. Pornanong said, speed up enforcement as best as possible using technology and so on. So that's a key factor that we're helping as best we can using the information that we have, the tools that we have. But I think for the audience in this room, I would admit that looking back sort of maybe 18 months, there has been a lot of changes within the market mechanisms that we put in place. It's difficult to use the word regulation, but I guess for the stock market, it's more like a code of conduct, or the limitations that we put in place, or the tools that we trigger, like dynamic price bands or minimum resting times and so on. We recognize and we hear from investors that there's probably been too many changes. There's been too many implementations of these, let's call it code of conducts or tools that, and we recognize that investors prefer certainty and consistency in terms of regulation. So I'm not sure if any of you heard sort of 2 or 3 months ago when we sort of implemented or approved the last type of mechanism in place, limitations on HFTs and so on. We made a commitment at that time, and the board of directors of the SET made a commitment at that time that at least for the remainder of this year and through early next year, we will not make any more changes to regulations to give certainty and consistency in terms of the mechanism of the market. But to be on the flip side as well, at least as I've learned this past 12 months, is our role as a central platform or infrastructure for the capital market. It's a balancing act as well. We have many different stakeholders that have different types of interests. Our security firm members have different types of clients that they service, and their clients as well have different views of the market, of what the mechanism should be. So it's a balancing act that we need to continue to evolve or develop. But the ultimate goal that we're looking to do is to make the market as efficient as possible, make the cost of transactions as low as possible for all our stakeholders, and to have sufficient information, fair and sufficient information for all our investors, both locally and internationally.
Thank you, Kun Asadej. It's very good to hear that there will be no regulation changes currently.
No major ones anyway. Yes.
No major ones. So I'd like to ask Kun Chavinda, as the representative of the asset management companies for Thailand, right? What would you like to see in terms of protecting investor interest, and what would give you more confidence in the market as a representative for all these firms?
I think this one is quite a crucial one for our institutional investor. What we want to see is preventive measure together with the strong deterrence. And as an institutional investor, this is quite a critical one, and particular for ourselves, we focus on ESG issue. It has been years that we form what we call ESG Collective Action Committee to monitor all the listed company has labeled ESG. And surprisingly, that last year, we found that 13 cases has been addressed. It's a lot. And we don't want to see that anymore because it takes time for us to consider each case. And surprisingly, that 80% out of that related to corporate governance. And that did undermine investor confidence for sure. What we see, the good side is the listed company who has been exposed to this issue try to step in and try to explain to the committee what's happening to the issue that they have, altogether with the solution that they will take care in the future. I think that's very good start for our industry. Our industry foresee ourselves that normally we are passive investor, but at the current situation, we have to play more active role. And it's very, very active because we kind of represent retail investors, so we have to take more active role. And the process that we have been taking care is improving over the period. So that was what we see. And actually we have some kind of suggestion. I don't know whether it is possible or not possible. I have to ask Dr. Pornanong as well. Because what we see is, the point is, we see the kind of slow in the action, what we have seen in the market. My proposal, would that be possible that regulatory power has been consolidated in a certain area into one platform that every regulator can share information? Because I want the fragmentation of the market to be reduced. And if we can do that, probably we can do some kind of preventive action into the market. And like all stakeholders can have some kind of early warning for ourselves, particularly for the legal issue and also the financial issue as well. So this one, if that's possible, that could make the market more secure in terms of not Thai investor, but foreign investor as well. The second one probably will be related to the party that involve the information that they provide for investor in using the information for investment decision. I think this one is quite important. We want to see a quality paper. We want to see a integrity paper that make us understand and make decisions precisely. If preventive measure cannot be full effect to this, probably we need some kind of strong penalty for them in the future in order to upgrade the awareness for this party. Lastly, what we have been discussed, and I think is on the shelf to clear and to make sure that the SEC has been empowered in the future to make all the cases shorten. That's good. That's the thing that we are manage at the moment, and I think it will be short while that we will see the SEC can move the illegal enforcement faster in the capital market. Yeah.
Great. Thank you for that. And maybe if I can shift the question to Kun Songpol as well. From the perspective, I mean, you're the key representative of government pension money, which is people's livelihoods. It's quite important. And you talk a lot about potentially shifting some of the allocation to the domestic market. So what would you like to see in terms of confidence for you to invest back into the domestic equity market?
Thank you. I think in general, there are many things that we've been discussed together with SEC and SET. And I think as an investor, we want something that is more stable. We want enforcement. We want liquidity. And also we look for not only the SET and SEC, but I think all the stakeholders in this market has to work together, including company listed and as well investor that invest in this market. So in general, there are many things that have been working well together, and as I can mention that during the past 1-2 years, there are many efforts that SET and SEC are working very closely together to make things happen. So we want to monitor those, and we would continue to educate our members as well. Because at the moment, there are a lot more of our members who save only as they require by law. So our member, at the moment, they can save 3% of their salary as a mandatory, but they can save up to another 27% as an option. So in that case, we see a lot of our members start to save more. And based on the new initiatives from SET, SEC, and also the government itself, last year we can offer the Wayupak Fund for our member as well. And we only have very small window to offer to our member, and we see our member very interested, and they got an allotment from our side, and they are very happy at the moment based on the Wayupak Fund's performance. Thank you for the management of the government as well. So I believe that there are many things that all the stakeholders have to work together. So I encourage that we should do more like focus group and look on the highlight items that we should work together. But so far we are happy with the speed that both SEC and SET are working together. And as we said, we are reviewing our asset allocation and more growth, and would be more on domestic as well. Thank you.
Yes, I think I have to respond quickly, even though I try to do my job as quick as I can. But anyway, to meet the high expectation, maybe I have to move quicker, So let me answer your question, Kun Chavinda. I think we still have some gap to make improvement. But anyway, if you think about only one single platform to oversight or to do the enforcement role in the capital market, I don't think that it is a good idea, because we still need the check and balance. I mean, we still have to oversight the SET, but anyway, as Kun Songpol said, we can see the value of collaboration among agencies, not only the SET and SEC, and also all the professionals in the capital market. We are the FedCo meeting, or even though we do not have the regular meeting every day, but I think we can communicate clearly about the direction that we're going to move our capital market into more integrity, into more efficiency, something like that. But let me talking a little bit about the SEC role, because we have two roles. One is to oversight or to enforce the misconduct or wrongdoing. But we also have another important role, is to develop or use us as the enabling mechanism to strengthen our capital market. So to launch the Wayupak or to launch the ESG, this is the initiatives from the SEC because we would like to focus turning the long-term saving into investment. And we would like to hear or see more active institutional investors because I think to maintain the integrity of the market, we have 3 legs. The first one, of course, is the company itself, right? So we have to enhance the corporate governance of the company. Second, we need the market force mechanism, which requires the active roles of the institutional investors. And lastly, we need the discipline from the regulatory reform. But I don't think that only one leg, only the things that are from the SEC gonna maintain the integrity of the market in the long term. So I think to close my views, I think you will see that more collaboration and also more certainty in the market. And I hope that all of these efforts would like to maintain the competitiveness of the capital market and also the integrity of the market. So this is a thing that I would like to mention about your question and also would like to support Kun Songpol about the collaboration among us and also the other agencies such as the Central Bank.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pornanong. I wish we could continue the conversation longer, but they're telling me to go. So I'd like to thank all for this very insightful session. I think the key takeaway I got from this is that there's close collaboration, there's activity. We will continue to push forward for fairness amongst all investor types. So I thank you all for your insightful comments, and thank you again for this honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for a very fruitful session.